I already told you how one of my friends is planning to be here next Sunday. The power of one day. We have one shot, so to speak. He's going to come in, and he's going to see what happens, and he's going to make a judgment of whether he wants to come back or not. That's the power of one day. We have so much potential. And the truth is, every Sunday, every service we have, there is this chance that someone that we've been praying for shows up, and it's their one day. And so the reason why this is important is because we serve an excellent God, and we need to have an excellent service, but we also need to have an excellent service because this might be the one day that grandchild shows up that we've been praying for. This could be the one day that the person, your neighbor, who you've been praying to come to church for 15 years, comes to church this one day. And so we want to put our best foot forward and give them an experience that they want to come back to. Michael Jordan, in my opinion, like the greatest basketball player, at least in my lifetime so far, he said when he was being interviewed, he was asked, why do you give your heart out there game after game? You just put yourself out. And this was during a game when he had like 102 temperature, but he was still on the court playing his heart out. And they're like, why do you do it? He says, because there might be one person in the crowd who's never seen me play. And I'm going to play for that person. Okay, so every Sunday when we show up to the contemporary service, and whatever our role is, it's that one day where your potential, you could be the one that links them to Jesus. You could be the one that makes them say, I'm coming back here because of your attitude. Now, go with me on a journey of coming to a church that you really don't want to come to, okay? You drive up, and the first person that greets you kind of comes over to you like this, like, hey. Nice to see you. All right. Hey. Okay. You're going to feel not only awkward and weirded out by that, but when you're greeted by people, if you look them in the eyes and smile, very helpful. Like, imagine you're seeing your best friend and you haven't seen your best friend for like years, okay? That's how we want to greet people. You know who does this really well? Paige does this really well. She was a greeter in the past. Her back hurt, so she stopped, but I think her back is getting better, so if you could pray for that. But, like, so someone comes in, let's say they're not greeted so well, so they're already kind of turned off, and then let's say they sit down in a seat, and they didn't know where to sit. No one helped them find their seat, so they sat down. It turns out they sat in the wrong seat. Like, one of the members is like, looking at them mean and mad. So now they're like, oh man, I told you God's angry with me. I shouldn't have come to church. Okay? And then the person who gets up to lead songs feels like their role isn't important. So they get up and they're just like, all right, next song, here we go. And they just get through it with no energy, no passion, no devotion to Jesus, almost like no connection. And so the people are just sitting there like, they're making up their minds to not come back. They're like, if this is what church is, I do not feel a pulse. Like, if Jesus came back to life, I don't know if he's actually here. We don't want them to have that experience. We want them to come in and be like, wow, there's a pulse here. Like, I heard that Jesus came back to life, but I'm actually starting to be convinced of it because I see it in his people. That is what we want people to experience. Jesus is alive in us. Okay, so we put in the heart, the energy, we develop these talents and abilities God has given us, and we put our best foot forward because it might be that one day that your neighbor decides to turn their life over to Jesus. The one day that the relative that you thought would never come to church has come to church.
This is a song I wanted to introduce. Hopefully you've heard it if you haven't. Cool. This is a song that I first heard when I went to the Salvation Army Rehabilitation Program, and it just really spoke to me. It was really, I was pretty broken. I didn't really have anywhere else to go. I was staying in a homeless shelter for a little bit, and then I was like, well, I guess I'll try this. I can give you more of a testimony than that, maybe. But either way, I heard this song, and I was in this place where they made me shave, put on nice clothes, and sit down and be in a church service, which was very foreign to me. But It really spoke to me. So I'm really happy to play it for you today. All these pieces, broken and scattered, in mercy gathered, mended and whole, empty-handed, but not forsaken. I've been set free. I've been set free. Oh, amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Oh, I once was lost, but now I am found. Was blind, but now I see. Oh, I can see you now. Oh, I can see the love in your eyes. Laying yourself down, raising up a broken to life. You take our failure, you take our weakness, you set your treasure in jars of clay. So take this heart, Lord, I'll be your vessel, the world to see your life in me. Oh, amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Oh, I once was lost, but now I am found. Was blind, but now I see. Oh, I can see you now. Oh, I can see the love in your eyes. Laying yourself down, raising up the broken to life. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Oh, I once was lost, but now I am found. Was blind, but now I see. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Oh, I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Oh, I can see you now. Oh, I can see the love in your eyes. Laying yourself down, raising up the broken to life. I wonder if my life could really change at all. On this earth, could all that is lost